So this is Themis presenting balanced views in the simplest fashion. The origin of the name Themis comes from the Greek Titaness, who was the personification of fairness and balance. In recent years, the spread of misinformation has become a problem, and one of the sources of that problem would be echo chambers. Echo chambers are essentially where one's beliefs are created or buttressed due to the repeated exposure of a certain perspective. Themis grants you the option to leave behind echo chambers and explore news and ideas from all sides and perspectives. Since Themis mainly focuses on US news, the three sides would be Democratic, neutral, and Republican. The origin of the idea for this project came from these media bias charts. These charts sort sources based on their political bias. For example, from these charts, we can see that Fox News is more biased towards the right, which are the Republicans, while the CNN leans towards the left, the Democrats. Using these charts or those similar to them, we can split these news sources like CNN and Fox News into three categories based on their political bias. From there, we can then embed the articles directly from the news source. One of the main appeals of Themis is its simplicity and ease of usage. You can easily register for an account, and after logging in, you are redirected to the web page. On the homepage, each tab represents a political side with neutral, mostly unbiased sources being one as well. And the homepage is shown on the screenshot on the right-hand side of the slide. Simply clicking on these tabs will allow you to navigate through the web page. You can scroll through each article, and at the bottom of the page, there's a next button. Clicking the next button will not only move onto and display the next article, but it will also mark the article as read in your history. On the right-hand side of the slide, you can see a snippet of the
Excuse me, sorry, but we can see your script. So, um, if you want to like show your presentation, maybe you could have your script like on a different device so you can read off that instead.
okay, sure, yeah. Um, so uh, So on the right-hand side of the slide, you can see a snippet of the stored history in the PHP database. For each article read, we have a user ID showing who read the article, a news ID showing what article was read, a type showing the political bias of the article, and a timestamp showing when the article was read. We can utilize your read history to generate a ratio of Democratic articles versus Republican articles read. If your ratio is too low or too high, we can limit one type of articles and it will continue being limited unless the ratio is brought up by reading the other type. For example, if you read too many articles from sources that are more biased towards the left, like CNN, then the Democratic articles will be limited for you unless you read enough articles from the opposite side, the Republicans. This history feature will help reduce bias towards one side by introducing views from the opposite side to the reader. One feature that is currently not in Themis but will be added shortly is a search feature where you can search for keywords and relevant articles will show up under the three tabs. Another possibility for Themis is using AI to identify news sources bias and submit the article URL into the database and automatically display the embedded article on the web page. A future possible expansion is to not only cover the US political sides, but also cover media from different countries. For example, we can have one tab for China and one tab for Russia. For the this is the local hosted server for the website. Here is the registration page. You can register easily, and then you can simply log in. And after logging in, you are taken to the homepage. So for example, here is the Democratic article, and then if you click the next button, it will move on to the next article. It's a bit laggy since I'm screen sharing right now, and then this will be marked as read, and you can click next again, and it will move on to the next article. And then likewise for the neutral tab, it will, if you move there, it will display an article with relatively neutral political bias. And then if you click next, the next article will display. And then likewise for the Republican tab, if you click the Republican tab, a Republican article more biased towards the Republican side will be embedded, and you can scroll through the article in the embed and click the next button when you are done. I also currently hosted this on Google Cloud, but I've yet to add any articles.